Welcome to class, everyone. Pipe down, be quiet, sit down, and most importantly, you should subscribe. More importantly than that, you should listen up, because I'm about to speak some fire right now. You are bad, like me, but I'm here to fix that. This is how to draft for beginners. That was supposed to be in the editing, but we don't talk about that, because I'm tired of first pick dynamites and spikes. So here's the first step. You look at the tier list to see who is good. Anytime there's a balance change or a new brawler or any new hyperchargers like that Mortis or the Poker one, you gotta look and see who is good. Because every time there is a change, the tier list will obviously change. You gotta think about what brawlers are good in what mode. I mean, I would never play like Tick or Jean in Heist, except if it's like quick fire for Jean. I mean, obviously you would probably go Jean there, but I'm not going to talk about any modifiers. Full glaze but no glaze, they're really good at the game, so you should probably listen to them. Ash BS, Sven, any pros, probably just listen to them. Ash has got tier list on his Twitter. He just posts a picture of them and you can kind of just see who's gone up in the meta, who's gone down, and it's very easy to see who's good and whatnot. The only thing he doesn't do is he doesn't explain why they're good. That's why you go to Sven and pros. If you are good at the game and you know what you're doing, I would suggest just go to Ash and just look at the tier list and be like, oh yeah, that brawl's good, whatever, and just see who's good there. But if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know how to play the brawler, go to Sven, go to the pros, because they explain why the brawler is good. And obviously you have to understand why they are good. You can't just be like, oh, I picked Lily, oh, Sven said Lily was top 5, I win automatically, yippee. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. You have to understand why they're good. Step 2. There are 4 main ways to draft. Even though there are 6 bullet points, we don't talk about it. You can counter the opponent's brawlers. This is pretty simple. This is something you should just pick up from just playing the game. Even in ladder, you'll be like, wow, this matchup kind of feels a bit hard. What do I do against this? Like in Shelly versus Tara, it's very hard for the Shelly because the Tara pets. There are map specific brawlers. These are like, Rico in Hard Rock Mine, Angelo in like Canal Grande. Just brawlers that are kind of good there just because they're good there. That made 0 sense, but obviously for obvious reasons, they're very good there. I explained that very poorly, I'm very sorry. Most specific brawlers, I was gonna take this out. Most specific brawlers, they are like, Melody in Heist. Melody isn't really seen anywhere else except from Heist. Chuck as well, not really seen anywhere except from Heist, so they're only just like committed to one game mode, but they're still pretty decent there. Not seen as much, but they're still pretty decent there. And then you have the most important, maybe the second most important point, synergy with teammates. This is like Jean and Max, very good synergy with your teammate. Obviously you give speed to the Max or give speed to the Jean, and then the Jean pulls and he gets a free pull. And then obviously you got to think, what brawlers could the opponents pick to counter you? This is mainly for the 5th pick in the game, because I have seen so many people pick a brawler that doesn't counter throwers mainly. For example, in Dueling Beetles, you have like a Sandy mid, you have 2 sharpshooters on the lane, and then the opponent's last pick Sprout, and then you just instantly lose because you have no wall break, you have nothing against the Sprout, you have nothing aggressive, no wall break, you're pretty much screwed. Unless they play it very, very poorly, there's just no way you win. And obviously you have a mix of them. Countering brawlers, like I said, is the easy thing to do. You will eventually pick it up just by playing the game. Each brawler has an archetype. There are obviously some exceptions because every single brawler is different. For example, say you were going to pick between a Colette and an Ems, and the opponents have gone Bull and Tara. You would probably want to pick Ems there just because you countered the Tara and the Bull at the same time. Even though Colette is probably better in the meta, I would suggest still going Ems there just because you countered both of them at the same time. And then pick brawlers that you were good at. This is optional. I am horrendous at Mandy. I'm so bad at Mandy that I just never play her. I don't know why, I just can't hit a super with her for my life. If the option was Mandy, Piper, Byron, Belle, something like that, even if Mandy was a bit better in the certain circumstance, I would still go Piper or Byron or Belle just because I'm better at them. I don't know why, something about standing still just doesn't hit for me. And then you gotta think, what brawler on the enemy side is most problematic / what don't your teammates counter? This is going to be an extreme example But let's say your two teammates have gone double thrower, they've gone Barley and Dynamite, and you have 5th pick. You probably want to go a tank counter or an assassin counter or something to deal with the aggressiveness, like a Mortis or something like that. Because if you don't, then you're just going to get ran over by their 6th pick, which is probably going to be Mortis or an Edgar or like a tank or something like that. So you got to think, what don't you counter? You have map specific brawlers. These, I probably missed a few. There's probably a lot more than this, but these are just a few of them. You have Rico and Ruffs on Hard Rock Mine. People value Rico a lot on Hard Rock Mine. People forget about Ruffs though. I still think Ruffs is really good. He's really strong there still. You have Angelo and Evo and Canal Grande, like I said. I mean, the water. Anyone else who can't walk on the water is using probably like 60% of the map, while you're using 100% of the map, you know? It's just really, really good. R2 and parallel plays. Now, I've seen pros play parallel plays, and they just don't ban RT. And they don't value RT that highly there. And in all honesty, they probably know something I don't. But every time I face, or every time I play RT on that map, I just win every single time, no matter what. So, you know, I would suggest going RT first gadget, 2nd star power, and you just be defensive the whole game and you win. Amber, double swoosh. Amber's really good there. The vision gear, you can camp for your super with the 1st star power and then eventually push up. Rico on center stage, kind of like Hard Rock Mine, the walls just fit perfectly for him. Vision gear on him really good as well. And then you have Angelo and Brock out in the open. Pretty self-explanatory. You kind of want to just break the left wall, and then you can just go into the middle through another path. If you don't, then you kind of just get pinched out through the right side. But with the wall break in the middle, you can kind of just go into the middle. Mode specific brawlers, I'm going to talk about a few. I mean, Chuck again and Melody, and sometimes Colt. You kind of only see them in Heist. Anywhere else, they're kind of not really played. Gem grab, you have Jean, you have 8-bit, Meg. I mean, Meg has 2 lives in gem grab, really good gem carrier. 8-bit, I mean, once he gets his turret, he can teleport back to it anytime. A lot of HP as well, and obviously the damage booster does a lot more damage. And then Jean, I mean, one pull could just mean the end of the game. One pull could just change the game. Daylight robbery. KO, you have Kit. Kit just changes the game. Kit with like a tank, just almost all the time automatically wins. Jean and Buster, again, it's a slow game mode, so Jean can eventually just farm his pull, and Buster gets his super just automatically just by standing next to teammates. And Meg is broken in the meta right now, and also she has 2 lives. I mean, what more do you want in a game mode about KD? What more do you want with a brawler that has 2 lives? Gale in Brawl, I mean, he's the ultimate defender. You know, you just can't score a goal when he's on the map. Like, his supers just blows you back, pause. And then he just has his twister gadget as well, really good. You can't really score that. With Gale on the map, you can't score. Synergy with teammates, I'm gonna go into a few of them. You have Max and Jean. Like I said, Max gives speed to the Jean, and then the Jean walks forward, pulls someone. If you get close enough to a brawler, you can just auto-aim your pull and it will hit every single time. So that's why you want to get close with Max. Give the speed to the Jean. And then Sandy, Ems, Nita, and Poco all are very similar with Max. They all want to be at a range where they can hit the opponent, but the opponent can't hit you. For example, if they're facing an Edgar, you kind of want to be at that mid-range where you can hit him and also get the maximum amount of damage, but also he can't hit you. So you want to be in that mid-range. You have Byron and Meg. Meg walks forward, Byron heals, and happy days, you just instantly win mid-control because Meg has 1 billion HP, Byron healing her. Kit and Buster is really strong. Kit, this is mainly for knockout. You can use this with any tank. You mainly see Kit paired up with a Rosa, a Buster, or a Daryl. Frank as well, actually. But Kit gets his super automatically just from waiting. Buster gets his super just from standing against teammates. You wait for the poison to close in. The Kit jumps on the back of the Buster shields, so you cover the air, you cover throwers with Kit, you cover the projectiles with Buster. There's literally nothing the opponents can do. There's literally nothing the opponents can do because there's a shield and then there's a thrower who is also healing him. A 10k HP Buster, and then the Buster just destroys you. And you can't go backwards because the poison is there. So there's nothing you can do. Again, Jean Buster, kind of the same thing as Kit Buster. Buster gets his super, walks forward, uses his super, and then the Jean is behind him, and then the Jean can move up, get a free pull. You have Griffin wall break with Angelo and B. This is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, they have a lot of range and consistent damage, and obviously you can just break up the map just fully. You can also see this with Colton and B, and Colton Angelo works really well. Just break up the walls, especially if there's a thrower, just really good at the throws, and you just kind of win. This is an old one, but I really love this one because it looks so cool. You have Bonnie and Gus. Bonnie jumps, and as soon as Bonnie lands, Gus can use his shield onto the Bonnie, and then the Bonnie has 8k HP, does a billion damage with the star power from Gus, and then yeah. It's an old one, and it's not great right now because both Gus and Bonnie aren't great right now, but it still looks really cool. It's not that hard to pull off as well, it just looks really cool. And then obviously you have Berry and tanks. I mean, Berry gets his super from healing, and you have 10k HP tanks, you know? They just can't die when Berry's around. Step 3, bans. Look at the tier list, and just basically ban anyone who's S tier. It can be as simple as that. But it can be personal bans. I know a lot of people struggle with dodging curveball, so a lot of people ban Spike, or a lot of people ban, like, I don't know, Piper or something, or Poco, because they just struggle against the brawler, even if they're not great. There is no right bans in my opinion. You can make an argument for every single brawler being banned, and I would be like, okay, fair enough. Obviously some more than others, but you can basically ban any brawler and justify it basically. There is no right bans. There are some better than others. Step 4, picks. I'm not gonna go into this. I'm gonna go into 5th pick though. 5th pick is, again, like I said, a bit scary. You want to be careful of the opponent's last pick. Who counters you? Again, I'm gonna go back to the throw example. You gotta be careful of throwers. That's the one thing I see the most. It's happened to me, it's happened to everyone, let's be honest. You've just totally forgotten about, like, Bell's Rock. You've went Rico mid, and you have 2 sharpshooters on the lane, and then they go Sprout or a Tick or something, and then you just lose because the Sprout 3-shots you all, and then you lose. Let's be honest, it happens. It happens. So you just want to be careful of that. Go the wall break. Go Gray or something like that just to counter throwers, or even go throw yourself if you're scared about other throwers. 6th pick, you have counter and hard counter and synergy. Again, you gotta be careful of what brawler is the most problematic on the opposite team, so you want to hard counter that specific brawler. Quiz, I forgot I did this. Quiz time. 2 plus 2, let's just get the brain cells flowing. 2 plus 2 equals 5, 60, I should put 69, what's wrong with me? 67, 9, 2 or 4. I'm gonna give you a few seconds. If you said anything other than 4, you might need to get checked out, and also never play Power League ever again. Quiz time, actual quiz time. Alright. So this is going to be examples. Hopefully you learned something. I should put the quiz at the start. I'm an idiot. So, as you can see in this screenshot, I won. Because I'm just that good. No, okay. But I had last pick. Now, I'm going to give you a few seconds. You can pause the video. But just let's see who's good. Let's see who. I can think of a few brawlers, and obviously the brawler that I picked. But let's see who's good. Go through all of your brawlers, scroll up, scroll on all of them, see who's good, and pick a brawler. I know a lot of you probably would have said throwers. I did not go a thrower. I went 8-bit. 8-bit. Now why did I go 8-bit? Well, 8-bit does good into both. I would say 8-bit does good into Jean. I would say it's a pretty good counter. Piper, I would say it's a bit even, maybe slightly favoring 8-bit, but I think it's pretty even in terms of the matchup. And then Bell, I do pretty bad into Bell. 8-bit really struggles against Bell because of the mark and the bounces from turret to the brawler, so that's pretty bad. But my Nani, I mean Brogo star player, Nani does really good into both Piper and Bell. Most range in the map, really good into all of their brawlers, so I didn't really need to worry about the Bell. The main reason, because I didn't really need to counter their brawlers, the main reason why I went 8-bit is, first of all, I couldn't get pulled because I just teleport back to my turret, and I can block the pull with my turret. I have really good synergy with my teammates, so I used the first star power. When I put my turret down, my Nani can use her super in the turret, and her super deals like 6.6k damage, basically one-shots both Piper and Bell. I also have really good synergy with Byron, because his main attack heals, I have 10k HP, he can just heal me, And it's kind of like Meg, I can kind of just walk forward, not really with the mark from Bell, but I can, you know, he just kind of saves me and he can just heal so much. Obviously, the main thing as well, we just get a lot more damage from our main attacks as well. And obviously Nani has the most amount of range, so this screenshot, so I actually had 5th pick here, so the opponents had one more pick after us. I think we went Barley first pick. Because it was healing winds, we went Barley first pick. Barley's pretty good in healing winds. They went Dynamite and Rico, and then we went Stu, and then it was my pick. Now, I'm gonna go and glaze this Stu real quick, because he's my friend, but also, I'm gonna glaze him because it was just a really good pick. Stu does really good into both Rico and Dynamite, so he countered 2 with 1, which was really good. Barley also does really good into Rico. Now, the thought process for this Rico is, it is penalty kick, and Rico, the walls are really good for Rico on penalty kick. However, he just still gets countered by Barley and Stu, so it wasn't the greatest pick. Good job, teammates, W teammates. If you look at those 2 brawlers, there is something missing from them. Let's think of a brawler. Go through all your brawlers, pick a brawler. Alright, 3, 2, 1. If you said a tank counter, you would be pretty good. Both Stu and Barley don't have the greatest amount of damage. Stu can obviously kind of dash away from tanks, although he still doesn't have the greatest amount of damage. Barley obviously also not great into any assassins or tanks or something like that. So I went Cordelius. So Cordelius does pretty good into tanks. I can take them out of the game and both my teammates will just win against the win against the Dynamite and the Rico. Anything aggressive, I can just take them out the game. I do a lot of damage as well, and they'll just win the 2v2. They'll just win it just because their brawlers are better and counter them. So I thought it was a pretty smart pick. They went with Nita, which again is just a wild pick. Not a good pick. Gets countered by the Barley. She has no speed to combat the Barley. The Barley just had literally 3 free matchups, except from Dynamite. I mean, the Dynamite can do stuff, but he had 3 really good matchups. The other thing why I went Cordelius is I can use my jump gadget against the Dynamite. Obviously the map is penalty kick, there's a lot of walls, so I went the jump gadget and I am able to do a lot more than like a Shelly or something like that, or a Shelly or a Colette, you know. I have better matchups rather than a Shelly or Colette who can't really do much into like a Dynamite or a Rico or a Nita. So I still had really good matchups with the Cordelius. I think they still should have gone Edgar. It would have actually been a bit of a closer game. You can see the first game was 58 seconds, but I still think they should have gone Edgar. Alright, so for the last one, I'm going to give you a bit of a hard one. I don't actually have a game of this, but I just thought of it. So we have, the map is going to be out in the open. We have, on the enemy team, we have Jean, Piper, and Buster. On your team, you have Byron and Gus. What brawler do you pick? It's out in the open. What brawler do you pick? No bans. Now me, looking at this, Meg would actually be pretty good into this. I mean, I have the synergy with both Gus and the Byron. Like I said, who is the most problematic? Probably the Buster. The Buster is very, very scary. You don't really have a lot of damage with the Byron or the Gus. 8-bit could be a really good pick as well. Again, some nice synergy with the Byron. Belle would low-key be okay. Pearl would also be really good. I feel like a lot of people forget about Pearl. RT also really good. Not the greatest synergy with the teammates, but still okay. Now you are actually good at drafting. So hopefully, you won't just first pick Spike and Dynamite and stuff like that. And hopefully, you won't get countered by throwers. And hopefully, you can grind some ranked. Hopefully I helped you as well. I can go into a lot more detail about this stuff with like first picks and stuff like that. So, if you want that, maybe I'll go into it. But for now, I'm just going to leave it at that. Just like the basics of drafting. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.